Okay.
All right.
Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to the pod. It's time to play the pod.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, thanks first of all, because we've had some people checking out the pod. Appreciate it. That's number one, because I don't know. I've kind of realized anyway, like every time we get, usually when we get together to record the pod, we usually record a collab video too or whatever, but just because it makes most sense anyway. But I've really been enjoying the pod. It's super chill. These are things like I would like to talk about anyway. And it's like I said, it's just since we're already recording, like or we're collabing, we just hit the, set up the pod, and then it's like super good. And everything turned out. I don't know. Shout out if you guys noticed the new banner, profile picture, thumbnail, everything. We did the pod makeover.
Yeah.
So
it's all this
taking
guy.
it just because we just wanted to because it was a test at first, the episode 1. But then seeing how well it turned out and how happy we were with the product, it's like, that turned out like a good pod. Because even I kind of look into it, like look at it as trying to put myself in other people's shoes. It's like when I was listening to episode 1, because this guy over here, which way? This way? Yeah. This guy, he's the one who does all the uploads and all the putting the stuff together. So like and edit and whatnot. But so when I seen how it turned out, I was like, like I said, I put myself in other people's shoes, and I feel like, if I'm a small creator or someone that wants to get into the YouTube, I was like, I'd listen to this. So yeah, we wanted to put a little bit more effort into like the whole visual thing.
Also, I'm trying to make sure it's not focused. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're recording this even before the second episode's actually posted. So
yeah, technically it's uploaded, but it's not it'll probably be, as we're recording this, will probably be posted tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
So
every other Wednesday, I think is a good
at this current rate. But eventually, if things start, the ball starts rolling more, then we could always maybe do maybe once a week or something. But we'll see. For now, every other Wednesday.
But yeah, today's
topics.
We have some interesting topics. Aaron, want to tell the folks on the first topic? Let's get to it. Because you wrote it down. I don't.
Yeah. The first topic that we were just kind of, as we were finishing our collab, we started, talking a little bit. We're like, let's save that for the pod, or even before we started the collab video, we're like, we should say. But the first thing we were kind of talking about was like YouTube. The YouTube sphere, as far as like content goes, like how the new thing that seems to be the new norm is like long videos, like versus like short form stuff. Now it's funny because you have I would say you have both ends of the spectrum, but on extremes. Like you have short form content, i.e. shorts, like a minute or under, and then you have like everything else, which like long form content is
hour
like
plus.
Long. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like
even hour long form now.
I would consider that's probably considered regular now. Because but back when I did it the first time, I don't know if I said it in the other episodes, but my AaronSayWhat version 1 run was from 2013. I made the channel June 2013. Although I didn't really June 2013. Although I didn't really actually start posting like consistently, because I made it, post a little bit here and there and stop. But anyway, it was still technically June 2013. Although I consider the real serious start was 2014. Up until 2018, 2019 was when, again, I still did it a little bit in like 2020, but at that point I stopped and was only posting whenever I felt like it. And I wasn't really like, when it was my full kind of 100% into it, turned into a job, it was from 2014 to 2018 was like the full. Anyway, so back then it was so like the average video was 15 minutes, essentially 10 to 20. But most people kind of aimed for anywhere in that teen range. And then, like I said, if you had like a long, like a AAA game or a long story driven thing, you would do episodes. But even the episodes were like 30 minutes to an hour tops. That was it. You would never, ever see like a 4 hour, 6 hour long, like whole game in one video. But now that's become such the norm. And I know it depends. Like for me, that can get so sometimes overwhelming or exhausting, because my style of content is I always have energy levels up, because I am, like I said, that's just who I am in real life. But even with who I am in real life, I'm not 24/7, like every hour of the day up here high energy. I have my high energy spouts, and that's when I like to record, but like I can't sustain that level of energy for so long. So if I record a video, let's say, I'm trying to think of an example, like a good example. Actually, I have my channel here. I'll just look right now. But like a long game, if I record it in one session, like Umagari, that was another game I did recently. Chilazar, I recorded that whole thing in one sitting. It was like 4 hours. I cut it after I cut all the stuff out of like parts that didn't need to be in there, of going back and forth and getting stuck. It was an hour and a half, but like, man, even editing, I could see. Now, thankfully the game was good, so that helped keep my energy levels up. But like, there was other examples, I just can't remember off the top of my head, but of like where I'd record like for 3 hours, the first hour and a half, 2 maybe hours, good energy, but then you could, towards the end, you could start to see it like if something exciting in the game would happen, then I'd like, it picked me back up, like, oh my God, yeah. But like where it's like a game, a lot of these games where there's a lot of like filler stuff of like walking back and forth or doing something that you already did just in a different area. It's like you're trying to keep the energy up for the video, but you're like, or you just have to cut that out, but then it like edit it out. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, for me personally, and you can see what, or you can say what you think about it, but I still try not to like do the whole, like, especially if it's like 4+ hours in one thing. It's like I'm not doing that. Like there's been a few games where I'm like, all right, it's about 3 to 5 hours. Some of it, you know, you're probably going to cut out because there's some of it's probably just taken in consideration if you get stuck or maybe doing something that it's boring, you can cut out. That's it. If it's like 3 to 5 hours, I'll do like 2 videos, but like anything longer than that, I'm breaking up in parts. But then I'm at a disadvantage because you do parts and then you hope that your subscribers, let's say they watch episode 1, and then it's like, well, you hope that they like you enough that, which most of the time if someone's going to sub to you, they do. But like, there's a lot of people that might see your video. Maybe there's the first time viewer. They're like, all right, they see that you uploaded part 1 and then they're like, hey, where's the rest of the game? They're like, never mind, I'll just go search up the rest, and then they'll go watch someone else who posted the full game in one video, and then there you go. You lost your chance to impress a subscriber or a potential subscriber.
Yeah, well, that's why, like, when I started, there's a few games that I did, and I did space them out. Like, there's one game that I didn't even finish, and I think I'm going to finish it on stream someday, is Fragile Reflections. But, like, I was in the thought of you, like, oh, well, if you post part 1, well, especially your story game, you kind of want to post it that same week, that like the next day, so that, you know, you can at least give them the taste. Or like, say I post Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Well, if I was like, well, Thursday and then Saturday, well, they know, okay, well, the following Thursday, they, you know, if the game continues, you know, they'll stay. But I really do think for especially long form content, what the issue became was streamers, which I can't say too much about, because that's where, you know, I started my whole spiel. Like I did 2 different journeys on Twitch, and both of them like really good, but one community was toxic and the other one was such a niche that I was like, I can't really do much about this. But it's the streaming, because what streamers tend to do is like, okay, well, I'm streaming the people. A, you're going to have high energy because you're going to react off of people. Like, it's always like that. And then B, you're like, well, okay, I could play this game on stream. A, get a source of income from that. And then B, I can turn that source of income into, you know, a video that's long, and a lot of people like to do. And nowadays, especially, like what I noticed for long form content, and you can probably agree with me, is a lot of people like to watch it on their TV, which baffles me, because like, you know, we grew in a day and age where we got a cell phone, and like, as us, like I used to watch only things on my cell phone for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, or even a laptop. Like, I mean, yeah. I haven't owned a laptop because now I just have my desktop, but like I haven't owned a laptop in, I mean, technically I own it, but it broke. But I haven't never bought a new laptop since then, and that was like 2013 or 2014, whatever. And it's like, to me, if you would tell me back then, like, oh, you don't need a laptop, it'd be like, you're crazy. Because like the laptop was everything for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's now, it's like TVs are all like smart TVs. And
so people are sitting down and, like, and a lot of people don't eat at the table,
No.
and so they're eating and watching longer form content, which I totally get. Like I have 2 monitors set up, like, so I, if I'm like doing something or I'm editing for a video, however long it may be, I have like a video going on my left screen while I'm.
That reminds me, actually, can you have a video going while you're editing? I'll do that, but I'll pause it. I can't, like, if I'm focusing on editing.
If I'm focused on like cutting, for example, like if I'm like, okay, well, this video is like, example, I played a demo and it was like an hour and 15 minutes long. Crazy to think that a demo can be that long, but it was so many cuts, and I was like, okay, well, I'll put it on as low as I can be, and I'll cut. I'll cut. It's more or less listening than I am actually paying attention to whatever. So if like I'm watching like a movie or a TV show, I probably won't do as good of it as normal. But like if it's like, oh, this is a jump cut kind of video, like especially like demo double feature, right? Like I'm playing 2 different games, so I'll put something on.
I don't know. I didn't mean to interrupt. I don't know if you were finished talking about like how everyone streams and TV.
Oh, well, that's the thing. And then like people like shorts too, like they'll just opus clip, like why put effort into make, like I have to do my own shorts now because it just financially makes the most sense.
I too, we both used to use Opus, which no shade to them. Like, I mean, I think it's actually it worked. It worked.
It didn't
when it
what
worked.
You wanted.
I was gonna say when it worked for what it did as far as resizing it. Although mine, okay, that's another thing. A lot of times, the gameplay portion, because I would always pick the whatever where it's like my face on the top. Anyway, but every time I put the gameplay on the bottom, it was never in the center of the game. No. So anyway, but so it worked decent, but it's you have to pay for it.
But like I'm not throwing shade. It's just it financially, like it doesn't make sense. Like
it's a little pricey because it also limits you to how many you can do. So you have to pay, but then you're still limited.
Pay for a month and even a year. But like for me, it makes more sense because like I'll tell you guys, like I have a timeline. I duplicate the timeline after I'm done editing or rendering everything. I duplicate the timeline. I switch it to vertical and boop, and then it's just a matter of resizing and stuff. And it takes me like maybe 20 minutes, if that. So it's not that terrible to even make that. And then like DaVinci Resolve Studio. Also, if you want editing software, DaVinci Resolve has a free version, and I've heard so many good things about the free version that I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the paid. Version.
On the episode where we talk about, because we're planning on doing an episode where we talk about like getting started on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll talk
and
about
like
that.
So we'll talk more about that because I want to maybe go on like a mini rant about how it's basically impossible. I mean, luckily, like for example, DaVinci, but like all the like. We'll save it for them, but yeah, like just talk. I do want to rant about how
stay tuned.
Buying a perpetual license to buying something and own it. Yeah, never mind. That's not a thing anymore. Like I said, DaVinci you can, but like I literally started on Adobe Premiere like 10, maybe 11, something like that, and that's what I use. And just now, the last what's the one I got now? Let's see. I think it's 2022. Yeah, 2022. And so I think it was 2024 or 5. They stopped doing it where now you never own it. You have to buy a license. And as soon as you don't pay that monthly or whatever, that yearly subscription, you don't own it anymore. That's so stupid. I hate it. But anyway, yeah, different pod episode. We'll talk about the equipment and the getting started. But
yeah,
that like
shorts.
That's kind of like that's what I was gonna say about like even the shorts. Like I now also just do my own. I would say yours are a bit better as far as like presentability. I kind of just have mine just, my video, and then I put like a caption above it just because as of late I've been just focusing so much on the actual video part that shorts took a back seat. But now I'm trying to, because I was using Opus for a long time, but then I was like, I don't, I just didn't want to pay for that especially as a small channel, like, you know, because that's the other thing, where both of our channels are not monetized yet, because that's, and we can talk more about that on maybe the starting out episode, but I don't know that, no, we can actually talk somewhat here, because it will go into the next topic of like burnout and stuff, but like the monetization thing is kind of another whole thing now, where back in the day, there wasn't like a threshold, like a requirements, I mean, where you had to do, which now they wouldn't just accept anyone to the YouTube partner. You kind of had to show like some type of momentum or growth, but it was like, now you got the 2 stages of monetization. Now you have this stage 1, which is when you're in the YouTube partner program, but you don't have ads yet. So you just have 500 subscribers you need and 3,000 hours of watch time. And that will give you where you can have channel memberships, which is where people just pay monthly. You set up whatever tiers you want. You can make it like $2 a month, $3, and then you offer your fans X amount of whatever you want to offer them for, like, hey, thanks for so much for being a member. You can get like your thank you video, whatever, videos early. So there's the channel memberships, and then there's super chats and stuff if you do that. But that, again, that only helps. I mean, people can super chat a video, like a comment on your video, but that's usually for live streams. Like, no one's really gonna randomly super chat.
One sec, you like glitched out for me, so I got like,
oh, you glitched out for me too.
Yeah.
Good though.
Yeah, we're good now. We're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but so yeah, the super chats, the channel memberships, but then you have I would say the full blown like YouTube monetization, which you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and that's when you're starting a channel, especially because, like, if you have that mind, because I mean, like I said, you have the people that get into it and that's all they care about is money and everything. They don't care about any of their community. But then you do have, obviously, like, if you ask anyone, it's like, hey, what's your dream job? I want to be a doctor or whatever. I want to be a lawyer. It's like, if you wanted to be able to do that and get paid, like, of course. So, like, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing for anyone that admits, like, yeah, I want to be able to do this as a full-time gig. Because, yeah, I mean, a perfect example, we're doing it, putting in consistently 4 videos a week, or 4, whatever, 3 in a stream, whatever, for whatever it is, 4 days of content a week, consistently, you know, investing all the money into buying the games, the equipment, all the stuff, because we enjoy doing it. But it gives you that, like, that monetization thing is like, it's always in the back of your mind because you're trying to work towards it. But boy, oh boy, yeah, the watch time hours, especially, I would say. It's weird because if you have one video pop off, and I would say maybe like 50,000 views plus is what I would consider like a pop off, that would help you a lot. But man, that's so hard to do. Cause, like, again, that would also maybe help you with the sub count, but the watch time thing is so hard, especially starting out. Cause you're like, you know, anyone who starts out uploading videos to like 1, maybe 2, 3 viewers, and it would take you so long. So that can be like really one thing about like what we're going to lead into talk about is like burnout, is like what we talked about earlier with how now you have to do long form videos, like really long, if you want to play a game. Well, like, you either got to, like, let's say Resident Evil 9, perfect example, Requiem. It come out, it's apparently like, what did I say it was long? It was like 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that.
I saw somebody play for 12 hours, or it's on.
Yeah. So let's just say on average it's like 12 hours. You can either do 6 episodes of 2 hours apiece and be at a disadvantage because everyone else is already going to have the full game up, or you got to basically bend to the will of how YouTube is nowadays, and you got to commit to, like, again, buying the game for like $100. I see my webcam lagging a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit.
You gotta like buy the game for like $100, which, if you're a small YouTuber, I don't know what your financial situation is, because maybe you are comfortable living outside of it, but that's step 1 of like, whew, that's a big commitment. And then you gotta, like I said, commit to recording for, you know, 10, 12 hours. And all that, put all that work, and then editing, because I know another thing is editing long videos. Oh man, it sucks sometimes because it takes so long.
Yeah, like
because it takes so
6
long,
hours.
and then it takes so long to render it down, and then it takes a lot longer to upload it. So you got to do all of that, and then you upload it, and it might get, like, let's say it gets like 3 views. So, like, trying to maintain that motivation throughout all that it can be hard. And then, like I said, especially if what you want to do is not inducive to the YouTube area, the YouTube scene now. Like for me, like I said, I would much rather do long games, but break them up into episodes, but that's not the world that YouTube is now. And then you have other things that like dry spells of like lately there's been not many great games coming out. So then you got to like try to like either find old games that are still, you know, that are enjoyable to you, but then they're not going to perform as well. Some you might get lucky and some randomly do, but on average they don't. And then so it's like all that stuff. It's like that. I think that's what makes it or breaks it for a lot of people starting YouTube.
Oh, definitely. And like I say, like we kind of in a, you know, a grateful, blessed kind of situation. Sorry, I'm things are, I need the sticky note. Where's the sticky note? Okay, there.
Yeah, it should be. That's no, it's fine. But yeah, it's probably a good idea. So that way, if I'm talking and you think of something, you can type it down.
I type it out. That's what I'm saying. So like we're in a situation where, you know, we work half the year. So during that time, that's a little bit stressful, but we also are off the other half where we are, you know, that's well off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not hurting. We're not, you know, could we be better? Probably, but like we're paying for, like I said, I bought Resident Evil Requiem and I was like, well, I know I'm not going to be the first one. I know I'm not going to be like the one that pops off, but I do find like for AAA titles, streaming those are usually like the better option for me. And then I wrote something down, and it's also like kind of leads into the burnout is when you're starting a channel and like, you know, paying for games can be a problem, like we were saying, and then finding your niche and your style that kind of suits you, and finding your voice. That is the main thing. Like I'm still at that, I say, station. I'm better.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better, but the going from, you know, not posting and like, I wouldn't say like I'm a very talkative guy, but like I made people laugh. Like I'm very comical, but like showing that off for me to, you know, an audience of one right at the start, definitely at the start, audience of one, because it's usually just yourself. Like you're trying to prove yourself. And then, you know, trying to be consistent and not seeing the growth was definitely a struggle. And then now that I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm gaining views on my older stuff. Because like I had one video that to me was a pop off, was Time for Bed, which is still getting views to this day, which is like 1,800 views right now. But at the same time, I'm not getting those to the hours or turn to subs to make that, you know, partner.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this would be where more you could maybe speak volumes more to anyone watching that might be in more like, I guess, as far as like the sheer dedication or will to keep doing it, maybe I would say like you could speak more to it, because your channel is I was gonna say a grind. Like yours, like you've gone through stretches of like where I am like, I commend you for staying like motivated and consistent, because like I think we said it in the last pod episode where you were on, I think we said it anyway, you were on 21 subs for, or was that after, where we were looking at the analytics?
It was
you were on 21 subs for like months and not getting any. Like it's hard. Like like I said, I'm not right now my channel's at 721, but which is so funny because I was telling you just the other day, what was it, like 2 or 3 days ago? It was like 3 days ago, or 4 and 3 days ago. I had like 2 days in a row where it was slow prior to that, and then it just picked up randomly. Now it's slow again. And I was like, nothing changed. I've had no videos that popped off, but why did I get like decent amount of subs that day and then now it's slow again? But like, yeah, it's like, that is what I would say burnout. That's like the biggest thing, is when you're going through those dry spells of like not many games coming out, and then that means, okay, so maybe the games you are playing you're not as enjoying, and then so your videos, your video as a whole, like a product, kind of suffers a little bit, because obviously like the best videos, I believe, is when you're most authentic. So if you're really enjoying something, I think that will make for a better video. So like if you're playing games, which you just have to do at the end of the day, you can't, as YouTube, you can't just like, all right, there's no games coming out, I just won't upload for 2 weeks. Like you can't do that. You got to have like a routine and consistency. So then like you play stuff and like it's not as good. So like, and then so you're not growing as much. And then so like, it's kind of like a snowball effect of where it can be, like you start to feel like when's it gonna pick up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, like I got kind of lucky on the situation where I am this year, where I kind of had like multiple goals going at the same time, because like I think that's what really kind of saved me from the burnout of like staying at 21 for so long, was because I was like, I would joke about it because because that's who I am. I make fun of myself all the time. But I was focused, I had and I'm going to do a video of this. Like I started my gym journey. And then next week I'm going back to that, which I'm excited for. And then, I had the surgery done that, that was like one of my main flaws, that, and then I got my beginners. So like I've always, even though I'm not succeeding at YouTube, I'm also, making sure there's achievable goals that I can make outside of YouTube, which will fulfill me enough to continue the grind. Because like you see, like I gain a sub, and I don't know what from, but like every sub I appreciate like immensely, and I don't know if they know that, and that's what I want the community for. Is because that helps the burnout too, is when you get comments or likes, or you're seeing interactions, because then you're like, well, that actually helped me a couple times actually through this, because there's a couple videos where it's like, oh, keep going, or short that's like, keep going, and or the vlog is like, oh, I commend you on your grind, like keep going, like it's people who are supporting, and I'll say, like, also what helped me was we were kind of motivating each other, because like I think you kind of knew, like there was a few times when I'm like, oh man, I'm just 21 subs, like, oh God.
I know, but because I know, but because I know just from a outside standpoint of just anything in life, stagnation, but I also know like I said on my original YouTube thing, where it's I know how hard and discouraging it could feel, because YouTube, well, like, okay, maybe not everyone, but I can speak on behalf of CrayJayy. We're very, what we get involved with, like music or our passions, our hobbies, we're very passionate. Like usually we are all in, 100% all in. We give it our all, and we want nothing but like the best. Like we're trying to give our best and put our best. So yeah, to be doing that consistently and putting in the work that you gotta, and then like I said, it's such a random, like you just flip a coin. Like, is this video gonna get views? Or it's so random, especially starting out.
And then like, and I think that's also the thing that people, a lot of like those I wouldn't call them moguls, or those YouTube channels that are like, give you advice and stuff, but they don't tell you like, make a video, like even though you're burned out, make the video, post it, because down the line, you may think, like, if you put the effort in and you enjoy the video, like there's a few videos like, oh, I'll admit, like that, I'm like, oh, wasn't a great game. I didn't really enjoy it. Even those situations, post it, because later down the road, you don't know when's going to happen, but it's people will watch it.
Yeah,
like it's random.
And I did want to preface too, like the point of this pod, and the reason why we decided to let's actually do it, was because we have just I usually would just for kicks or whatever the saying is, I would just kind of click on some of those YouTube guru videos or whatever, where they talk about, and we want this pod to be 100% authentic and honest, where to the point where we're documenting our journey as small creators. I'm speaking on behalf of someone who's starting completely over. I did have some level of success. Like I said, 141,000 subscribers and PewDiePie shout out and friends with like a bunch of bigger YouTubers and stuff. But, and then you're documenting it from, like I said, the fresh, complete start. I mean, you did the streaming thing in the past, but this is, like I said, the YouTube world's different because it is very different. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're both doing content, but man, growing on YouTube is a whole other ball game. But so we want the podcast to be authentic, where we're not bull crapping you. Like, there will be moments of the podcast where we're saying like, I don't know. You know what I mean? We're not going to act like we have all the answers, because I always get a kick too when I would see a video like, here's what you got to do to get 1 million subscribers. And you look at their channel and they have like 4,000 subscribers. Yeah. I'm like, well, if you knew how to get 1 million subscribers, you would have 1 million subscribers. So it's like, we don't want to be, like I said, feeding you lies. There are going to be things and points of the journey where it's like, I don't know. Like, you just have to kind of figure that out or find your footing as you go. And that's, again, I think that's part of what makes the journey so special of when you do, like, that's why I always will. That's why I always loved to do the subscriber milestone videos. Like on this channel, I did the 500 one. I'm going to do one for 1,000. But back in the day, I did one. Geez, actually, when I first started, I did one for 250, 400 for some reason. I don't know why I didn't just wait and do it for 500. Yeah. And then I did 750. I did 1,000, 2,500, 4,000, 5,000, 7,500, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 16,000, 20,000. And then I just did them every 10K, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. But yeah, like, the reason why I always liked doing it, because when it comes time to, let's say you hit your goal and you hit record and you start talking about how much it means to you, that's when it hits you. You're like, wow. And like, in some of the subscriber milestones you may hit, you might not think for some reason, like, you know, let's say it's a random number. It's so weird too, because I remember when I hit 20,000, like 10,000 was like a big moment, obviously, for any channel. I think one of the biggest is 10,000, because anything under 10K, you can still convince yourself. I mean, in YouTube's world, like, and that's the thing, I guess now in YouTube world, 10,000 is still probably considered tiny, but
it's good to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I considered it back, especially back then, and even still now to this day. Like, if you hit 10,000, that's a decent. You put 10,000 people in one room or one area, that's still a lot of people. So when I hit 10,000, I was like over the moon. But I remember, for some reason, I remember it just like yesterday. Plus, I've gone back and watched the video. But when I hit 20,000, for some reason, that just hit different. I remember making the video for 20,000. I was like, wow, like, just saying it. Thanks. I was like, I forget what I said exactly, but it's like, you know, I just want to say thank you so much. We hit 20,000. And when the words left my mouth, I was like, whoa, why is this hitting me, like, resonating so much? And then, of course, like, I was super happy when I did the live stream when I hit 100,000, which obviously I knew what that entailed. Was I knew the silver play button, I could claim it and they'd send it. So I made the video for 100,000 and the 100,000 subscriber special video, which I put a lot of work into. And then the video, I was super proud. But when I got the actual physical silver play button, which by then I think I had like 120,000, soon as I opened because it was in a brown box, and then you open that box, the shipping box, and then it was in the YouTube box. I remember what made me almost cry and like got me emotional was not even the actual silver play button itself. Was as soon as I opened it, I seen the box, and they put a little label on the bottom of the YouTube box just so they know which one's which, so they don't have to open it. It just says your channel name. So just a little sticker that said AaronSayWhat. That, like, I remember I was like, oh my God, like, on my video, I'm like, I had to set the button. I was like, wow, and then you, as soon as you open it, you move the little foam and you actually see the button in person, even though I watched all my friends' videos of theirs, but like seeing it in person, like, you have these weird moments of like it just will hit you. And then that will be the motivation to keep going. Like, I don't know, but for you, like, I know your 100 one is what you're going to make one.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do, so it really depends on how long it'll take me to get to, you know, each idea. Like, so like this one, hundreds, because it's taking me a while to do that. And if it takes me, let's just say, if 250,
yeah,
if it came fast, I wouldn't do that. But then if it does take a while, 500, you know what I mean? Like, I'd do 500, then 1,000, you know, and then do like increments of double whatever, like 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, 8,000. So like, I would always do something like that. And like another thing, it kind of leads into burnouts, is burnout. because we're still on that topic, is the you don't, as a content creator, and don't get me wrong, because like I know a lot of our podcast listeners are these people, because like we do want you guys to comment down below, to ask us questions, because we want to answer any question you have, and if we don't have the answer, well, we'll look for the answer, you know, like we'll do the research if need be. But silent viewers can come into effect of a burnout. I'm not saying totally, but I'm saying as a creator, you don't know what's working, what's not working. If they're not liking, but they're viewing it, or if they're like it, for me, it's more or less, if I see likes, if I see more likes, I'm like, okay, well, this video did really well than the other video. So what about this video? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's a perfect actually add on to that, because it made me remember. So yeah, exactly what CrayJayy said about but on the flip side, we understand that a lot of silent, and that's the thing, learning to appreciate, which maybe it happens instantly, maybe it comes in time, but you learn to appreciate the silent viewers too. But yeah, but what I will say, because I just thought of it when you were saying that, is another piece of advice I would give to anyone starting out a YouTube channel is, once you do get a community, whether how big or small, start trying to like incorporate and building that bond. Because I remember for me, again, speaking on the first time around, and I'm going to do it again, but the first time around, I would just do when I can't remember the first, how many subs I had when I did the first one. But first off, it was the Aaron Say Comments video. I think that's what I call it, Aaron Say Comments, or Comments Say What, or whatever it was. But I did those. So I was like reading your comments, and that was cool, because then you get to, again, there's the first little bit of interaction. So you start to feel like people are, you're responding to someone one-on-one. Another thing is reply to your comments if you get comments. But another thing that I did, which I don't even know if that's really much around anymore, but a series that I did back in the day, which was when it really, really set it in stone of like, all right, now I know that people watching me are real humans, is I used to do a thing. I don't even know, is Snapchat even popular anymore? But anyway, I used to do a series of videos where I would open, I got my subscribers to send in like Snapchats. I always said, you don't have to, you can just be a text, but if you feel comfortable sending in a photo or video, or even just audio, like speaking your whatever you wanted to say or ask. And so, yeah, I did that. And yeah, when people started, like, cause I made like 4 of them or something like that, 4 or 5 episodes of that. And holy crap, when you actually start seeing your subscribers' faces and learning their names, or seeing them as like real people, man, I felt so connected. Like, that was when I truly felt connected with my audience, was, like I said, once I really started engaging and knowing them as people. Like, someone pop in your comments section, or even if they're like a consistent recurring viewer or commenter, when you start knowing, like, oh, what up, you recognize, like, that's when you really start, feeling that connection and love and support. So, like, yeah, that's something that I would recommend anyone to strive towards and appreciate. Even if, like I said, you get, like, let's say 1 or 2 consistent commenters, I know there can be that urge or that desire to have more, but appreciate like what you got too, because there will come a time, because it did get to that point with me, and then that's how I ended up trying to do. I tried so hard, because when I was getting over 100,000 subscribers, I could no longer keep up with every comment. When I would do live streams, there'd be like 1,000 or more. I couldn't keep up with the chat, but I would still always read the chat. I would reply to as many comments as I could. And then when, like I said, because I couldn't reply to all, that's why I did the Snapchat videos. I would do reading comments as a separate thing. I just tried as many different ways. I did like Omegle for like 40,000 subscribers or 50,000, whatever it was. I did Omegle and told everyone they could put your interest as AaronSayWhat, and so you meet them that way. And just doing all that stuff to try to always because if you just put all that out of your mind and you just let go, then I truly believe that that's when you start losing your connection with the audience, is when you don't interact them as humans anymore. They're just like numbers.
Oh yeah, well, and like, yeah, I get that totally, because like I see like, especially streamers, like if they'll have like text to speech or something, and like they'll or not even text to speech, but like just money is like, thanks for a donation. Like,
I seen a clip the other day. I forget which streamer it was. A big streamer. Someone donated like $500 and it was like one of the big main streamers. I think maybe Neon was with them. It was someone else, and I think Neon was there, but this streamer got, no shade to whatever, but they got like a $500 donation, and they're like, yo, or just whatever. And then Neon was like, bro, that's $500. Even though you're rich, that's the person that just sent you money, whatever the X amount it is. Like, let's say $500. That's still a lot of money. That person could be making like $1,000 per paycheck, and they're just giving you half. Like, that's what I mean. Be appreciative and not losing sight of that, even if you do get to the point where, well, now that you don't need the money, or now it's like, still never lose sight of that.
Oh yeah, and I think that's definitely what we strive for our communities, because like there, I heart whoever comments, because like right now I'm not getting a bunch of comments, but like eventually, like I'll probably do what you do. If I was getting like a lot, I'll take the time and day, and I'll make a video of reading every comment and stuff like that, and because I want my community to know that even if it's one interaction, I will take the time and it was like take the time and like react or talk, or because like when I was streaming, even the one guy that hopped in and he was like, oh man, yeah, I commented on one of your videos, and I was like, oh yeah, dead cam, because like I remembered, and maybe that made him feel a little bit better, because it was like, oh yeah, actually remembered, because for like silent viewers and commenters, I always been the type that if you take the time to reach out to me, I'll take the time longer even. And
there's a saying, I can't remember what it is. If they give you whatever, you'll give it back tenfold. I can't remember the exact saying, but yeah,
but like that, I'll give back more, because like eventually what I want to do is like, if everything goes well, like this is my plan, is I want to give giveaways
I used to
on
do
a
that
regular
a lot,
because I'd be like, okay, well, here you guys are helping me, I'm achieve my dream, I want to help you guys as much, even more, so
that's like two things. One quick note is, like, I will say I see clips and all the time. I don't watch his live streams directly, but I see so much clips in part. But iShowSpeed, he is one person where I'm like, he was raised right, and I'm glad he's famous. I mean, from all the clips I see, that he like, even just little things where because he's just basically followed around. The cameras just follow him around, but you can tell that it's just someone that he's using his fame to help. Like, I don't want to start naming, like, dissing some other big creators, but there's some big creators that do stuff, but it's more for content. You can tell someone like Speed, when you just see whether it's the smallest little gesture, or big, like, and like when I was, like I said, during my heyday, I love to do it, because a lot of times what happens too is developers will reach out to you once you start getting followed, and they'll be like, hey, do you want to work together and do a giveaway? And I was always like, that's great. Like, there was times where I bought the keys or the games myself to give away, but a lot of times developers, especially if you get form cool connections with like really cool game devs, where you get to work together. I remember I did a Boogeyman giveaway. There's an old game, Boogeyman. Actually, I became friends with the developer, and we talked all the time, but him and I did he put out a new update for the Boogeyman, like this new Boogeyman update, and him and I gave out like 50 keys, like 50 copies of the game. The Wick developers, that was another one of my favorite games back in the day. They joined one of my live streams, because again, they put me in the game as an Easter egg, and I was friends with the developers and the voice actors. The developer's son did voice act. Anyway, but they joined the stream when I was trying to do this, like, find this super secret thing, and it was so cool. That was one of my favorite moments, was they're like, if you can find the secret, because it was hidden. It was so hard. They're like, if you can figure it out, we'll give away like 12 or 15 copies. And I was like, and so I did. It was so much fun, and doing things like that, like, I want to, and that's kind of will lead into the last topic too, about like the creativity or lack thereof, I guess. But I want to speak first about the desire of wanting to do, like, because there's so much stuff so much more stuff I want to do, but it doesn't work unless you have that community. Like, I can't do a reading comments video if it's like, for example, I'm just gonna say like let's say you get 3 comments. Well, the video is gonna be like 3 minutes long. So like, but wanting to having that desire to do so much more, or passion to do so much more, but it's like a thing where you kind of, it's like a waiting game. It has to come after. So like, cause yeah, there's so much stuff I want to do. Like, well, you and I have already done a couple skits, which were fun. I want to do more of those. They take a lot of work. So
like planning,
it's more,
because like we didn't really plan one of them, but the other one we planned a little bit better.
yeah,
so
for
like
sure.
It showed.
But yeah, it's like doing that stuff. It's kind of like you have to like, well, there's some you can do, I guess, from the start. It's just like I said, having that creativity and passion. Being a small channel sometimes can be a little tricky because, like I said, you might be limited to maybe your setup or the space you have or time. Because the other thing right now, which we'll maybe talk more about this in another episode, but like what you said earlier about, you know, how we're off for the winter time, that works great. You know, when we're home and we can put 100% of our time basically into the YouTube stuff. But I was telling you before we even started the collab, is like, man, we're getting close to having to go back to work for the season. And I'm like a little nervous because, again, I built up this consistency and promise that I want to, you know, it'd be easy for me to just be like, well, I'm back to work. I don't have time. Let me just drop it down to only upload whatever, less videos. But that's not fair. Like, it's not fair to my audience. And again, I want to, it's not that I don't want to upload for it. I want to, if I could and keep the, you know, quality up, I would upload every day. But it's just at this, like, it's just not possible because it takes a lot. And then, like I said, because then you go through games so quick and you run out of stuff to record. But yeah, like the creativity aspect, and then thumbnails, you know, trying to get creative and making thumbnails, which a lot of people just now have just turned to using AI because unfortunately / fortunately, AI has become so advanced that it can do a really good job. I mean, like, and I'll admit, I used it. See, what I'll do is I'll use it for very small, if like I'm making a thumbnail idea and there's something that's like, all right, I want to do this aspect, but I just don't have the, like, I'm just like, I did like in my Vane videos, for example. So I'll put like, I edit the whole thumbnail of like, I literally set up my lights in a way to get the lighting even realistic. So like if the sun set, I'll put one of my lights behind me, turn it to the sun color. I'll do all that. I'll stage the photo, everything perfectly of like me coughing or something. But I didn't actually have like a little dust mask or quarantine zone. I played the game Quarantine Zone. I don't own a hazmat suit, but I took the photo and everything. And then I just got AI to put the hazmat suit on, but I still took the photo, pointed to like, or one of them, I had a temperature gun checker. Yeah. So I just used it and I held it like I was checking the temperature. So I do all that work. Or like in Vane where I'm like, my shirt, my clothes, I'm like bloody and my clothing are all ripped. I'll take the photo. Like I have like my most recent one, I have like my gun and the zombies are all behind me. I took a screenshot in the game, edit that, take a photo with me, get the lighting right. But then I'll just like say, AI, make me bloody and my clothes ripped. So like I'll use it for that as like a little, you know, sprinkle on some little enhancement. But the people that use it for, hey, just make me 100% make me a thumbnail, like boom, like it's like, it kind of sucks because let's say you are someone that's still putting in the work of, maybe you are someone who's like editing a bunch of stuff like all yourself. If you do a good job, but then everyone else just thinks that you're just AIing it, meanwhile you're not. Like, you know what I mean? For all I know, a random person could stumble across one of my Vane thumbnails, which I pride on. Like, I do pride myself on those. I put a lot of work in those. Someone might think they're just all AI, and it's like, that's disappointing because it's like, because I actually am putting in the work. I'm, like I said, I'm picking clothes. I'm picking clothes to wear for the video. I'm like doing everything else. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that just AI everything.
Yeah. See, I'm in the carpool of like, it's a good tool to use when needed.
Yeah.
But when it's overdone, or, you know, it's not in the AI realm, it's like the people, this is a little bit of shade. Yeah. Using the same photo, the same pose, but just the same photo, like crop it and do the same thing and put it on each of their thumbnails. And it's usually like 2 different poses. They're like, it's just like,
yeah.
But that drives me more up.
Yeah,
that drives me more up the wall than the AI.
Because it shows, it gives you insight into the person's mind. Because yes, technically, if you look at our channels, because we play like a lot of horror games, and like I said, some thumbnails I'll do where I make myself, like I self-impose myself into the scene of the game. But my average standard thumbnail is whatever the monster is of the horror game, the title of the game, and me usually going like a scared reaction.
Usually it's the same pose, but at least we're wearing something different.
That's what I'm saying is it might be pretty much the same pose, but at least we're putting in the work of like, all right, taking a new photo every time we do it. Like, so it's like, I get the sentiment, but to me, it comes across as lazy.
It's just easy.
And again, it's
easy work.
Well, yeah, because the other kind of thing with YouTube now is you have so much people now that just, whether it's that where they just copy and paste the same thing, or they just literally just from day one, or as soon as they start getting big, they hire an editor. And again, do your thing. Or, you know, they get big, they're a big YouTuber, and then every single video they post, they have sponsors. Because again, I can speak from preference, especially doing it and then not doing it, and then working a bunch of real hard jobs in real life. The people that are like literally not just doing it, throwing it off to an editor, using AI to make the thumbnails, taking 3 sponsors every video. I'm like, bro, you have like these people. It's just, sometimes it can be a little frustrating, especially as a small channel, because a lot of these people are just like, you don't realize how lucky you have. If you are a successful YouTuber, that is, I would say, like I said, one of the luckiest and best jobs in the world. Because man, even if you're, like I said, there are days, especially if I play a long game, there are days where I'm like, I don't really want to edit right now. But it's like, but that sure as heck beats doing like your 9 to 5, or maybe let's say you're stocking shelves, or you're working in a warehouse, or construction, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like putting in the littlest effort possible. Like I said, just using the same, it just comes across as like a slap in the face at times. And again, not saying these people are doing it without intentions, but as small channels, it can be very discouraging at times to be like, I'm putting in the work, I'm actually trying to do all this. And then, like I said, but because it's so competitive in the sense of like, you could play a game and then someone with like 1 million subscribers to play a game, you're never gonna, it's gonna be so hard for you to compete to get eyes in your content. Yeah. You can make the best video of all time, but if no one's actually there to click on it to see it, then it doesn't matter. That's the part where it can be a little discouraging at times.
Oh yeah. And like I was like, when I started, and I'll tell you guys this, like when I would do the thumbnail, it'd be after I edit it. I wouldn't be wearing the same stuff, because I need to make a thumbnail. So I'm actually starting to get better at doing, like, taking the thumbnail pose to make it look at least the same. But like for AI, like the amount I only use it to say, like, if I get a screenshot of what did I use? Like, I use 1 second. It's gonna be
I think it's fine to use, like I said, as a little enhancement. Again, you can do your own thing. You can use it entirely 100%. We're just speaking from our personal experience and how we feel, you know, YouTube is. I don't know, your YouTube video, whether it's the thumbnail, the title, all of it speaks to, like, I don't know, I believe that you should take pride in your work. And that's, I mean, it's that, I think that's, like I said, if it comes across as like, I just took the easiest way out, then I don't know, your viewers are also going to maybe get the vibe that you are just taking the easy way out.
Okay, so you won't see this, but on the podcast they'll see it. So I for my Silent Hill 2,
I have your channel open anyway, I'll just look.
For the Silent Hill 2 thing, I got this picture. Now,
the live stream?
The live stream. It was blurry as all heck. You'll see it in the podcast. I went to Grok and I was like, "Can you sharpen it?" And this is what they did, and it did it amazing job. Like it was so good. Actually, I could have done this way better. So yeah, there's the. That I made it sharpen to this.
Yeah,
it looks so much better than a blurry image.
Yeah,
but like there's some good aspect into, you know,
like
using it as a tool. Because like if you're going to sharpen an image, I honestly don't know how to do that. Like,
I mean,
from a blurry image, it would take probably forever, and it wouldn't even look that good. Or, for example, I know we've done it, is like you play something or you do something and you just don't have a great screenshot of like the character.
Oh yeah, some games are like so dark or nothing.
Okay, with trying to use AI image. I understand that.
I mean, I did it for Bad Midwife, that game, and I don't know.
Same.
But it was because I mean, I guess like I said, for that instance, there was nothing you could do.
No.
So
yeah, like I said, if you use it as a tool, great tool. Use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
There's the difference, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So like and I think using it as a crutch, or even doing thumbnails or the creativity, it messes with your creativiness. It messes with like you're not challenging yourself. Like there's some thumbnails that I'm like, man, or stuff like I did a really good job. Like the Poppy Playtime chapter 4, 4, where I put myself in the image and like I had to mask another thing, and it looks cool. It's like,
it's fun to do.
You're more proud of your work, whereas like, well, if you're just slopping a thumbnail together and just like, are you really proud of your work, or are you just putting out work?
Yeah, exactly. Man, I was gonna say something, I literally forgot. No, it's all good. I should have wrote it down. I just forgot at the last second.
You need a postie.
I have a physical one on my desk here, but dang it, I forget.
Was it about AI?
No, I don't think so.
Creativity.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't think it was that important, but I don't know.
It's not that great.
It's kind of like you want to put like how you represent yourself in your videos is kind of the audience you're going to attract too. Like if you, I mean, you had a good example of like when you did like the toxic like stream, like, or that's what the audience you trolled a lot. So that's what, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to ask yourself that, like, what kind of like audience or community do I want? Like if you just put out lazy slop and never put an effort, then you might get that in return, where people are they might watch your video, but they don't put any effort in engaging, commenting. No. You know, if you do like, hey guys, I'm going to be doing comments or they might be like, whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to, like I said, you kind of got to think of that too, of like how you present yourself is how is the people that are going to be, attracted to your content.
Also, before we get done, it also stops you from growth, like growing as a creator, as a, like, because like as a content creator, you're a lot of different things. You're a jack of all trades type, because you have to be an editor, you have to be entertainer, you have to be I say photographer kind of, but not in a sense, but like you
have to be artistic for sure.
Maybe a little autistic.
I knew you're going there.
I'm allowed to say that. Okay, I'm allowed to say that. No, you have to grow in different ways, and if you're stopping yourself growing from say being like editing photos, well, you're not going to get better. You're going to be stagnant. You're not if you say like if you're getting big enough and like you hire an editor, but then you're going to stop yourself from being a better editor. If you use AI for everything, God knows, well, then you're stopping yourself from growing. And I think that's the main thing as a content creator. It's hard to face, but you have to understand there's only one way, and it's up. And if you try to cheat your way in growing, well, it's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, because especially with, let's say, AI, using AI, anyone can do that. So you're not separate. Like, people gotta, like I said, this is, I would say, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give. Think of it as someone put yourself in their shoes. They stumble across you, or you stumble across your channel, and you look at it as like, okay, why should I subscribe? Like, what do you offer different that deserves a subscription? So that's what I mean. So like, let's say you're someone that's like, I can just do the easiest. I'll just use AI to do everything. AI to make a thumbnail, description, everything, title, and you just do that. Well, all the other people can do the exact same thing. So then your video there's nothing special about it. Even let's say your personality might be good, but if the package that it's presented in screams like just another like stamp next, where everyone else can, then nothing's, like I said, nothing's going to jump out as like, that makes it specifically you. Whereas, like I said, yes, there are a lot of people doing the exact same stuff as you, but there's only one you. So like finding and like we talked about it briefly at the start, we'll talk maybe more in future episodes, but finding what truly like settling into what works best for you. As far as, like I said, you might start off maybe trying to emulate your favorite YouTuber. Maybe your favorite YouTuber is someone like Corey Kenshin. So you start off and you're trying to emulate his editing style or his commentary style. But if that's not who you are or what you're good at, then that's not going to get you, because why would someone want to watch a subpar Corey Kenshin when they could just watch the Corey Kenshin? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of made that mistake a little bit when I started out, because again, I started out 2013. I was watching Markiplier and PewDiePie, and then shortly after I found Jacksepticeye, and like, so I was kind of at first emulating those guys, and I got nowhere. It wasn't until I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do my thing, try, like I said, and then once you start doing that, at first it'll be a little nerve-wracking. You're like, because you'll doubt yourself. You'll like, maybe you're make a joke in the video and you're like, oh, that was stupid, so then you edit it out or whatever. So but then once you get comfortable in your skin and you get some people's commentary videos or some growth going on, you really settle into truly just being like, you come in, you hit record, and you're not changing anything. You might turn it on a little bit, everyone does that, but like, you're just you. Yep. And you're not even guessing. Again, when I really hit my stride was when I wasn't even thinking about what to say. I just said what I was going to say, and I didn't second guess anything, because it's like, this is me. There you go. Boom. That's truly when anyone who is successful, that's what they'll all tell you, is that's when they started hitting their stride.
Oh, and like, I hope to get to that point.
I know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like
I'm like I'll be honest with you guys. I'm still just finding myself. Like I think I'm kind of there, because like I'll throw a funny haha here and a haha.
Oh, you'll be surprised. You might think you're there, but when you truly be there, you'll know. Yeah. It's a while. Like I said, when I did it the first time, I don't think I was truly myself until I was maybe like 15,000 subs, or maybe 10,000, anywhere past there. Because you get more comfortable and you are you, but you're not I would say, like I said, the best is when you are you unequivocally, no doubt, no hesitation, no embarrassment. You're just you. And that's, like I said, that takes time though.
I'm more me when we're doing the podcast than I'm actually me when I record.
I know, that's the funniest thing. People are like, oh, I like this guy, I'm gonna check out his channel. Hey guys,
well, a lot of times I just play games that I'm like, oh, this is not fun, and I'm like, well, yeah, A, I either paid for it, and B, it's like in a video and I recorded.
Well, this will be good to talk about in the next episode about like starting it and the stuff, because we'll have to wrap this one up, but we'll in the next one, just to give you a sneak preview, we're going to talk more about the starting the channel process, whether like stuff what might go through your mind really mentally, the equipment side, like finding what you want to do as far as like game, whether it's a game genre or feeling like, should you chase trends and should you not? That's what we'll talk about in the next episode. Because we've been talking these first three have been more about like the mindset into YouTube, motivation, burnout, all that stuff. But the next one we want to talk more about all the equipment, because again, some people will try to tell you like, just use what you got. But hey, we want to be real, and it depends on what you got. If you got the crappiest thing of all time, that's just not going to be ideal.
And how about next one? We'll also, at the end of it, we'll do a cap on our channels.
Yeah, we can do that.
So it'll be like an ending. So also guys, Comment down below like any questions you have. Like seriously, like we will answer it to the best of our knowledge. We won't BS. You know, we're pretty upfront about our situation. Yeah, we're pretty upfront. We're not ego.
I just did it. I just did it because I was pointing down and this shirt sleeves are really tight.
So yeah, we really do want interaction with you guys, and so leave a comment, hit that like button because we, you know, it lets us know you guys are enjoying the podcast. Because even if you're a silent viewer, just like it. It is easily quick, and then we're like, okay, people are liking what we're putting out.
Yeah, motivation.
If you guys want to subscribe to our channels, there'll be descriptions, and subscribe to this one, obviously. Yeah, we don't have an outro.
Nope. Thanks, guys.